Is it no? StreamYard has been so slow. Here we go. All right, here we go. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast, a special interview with author Ayers and publicist and her best friend and future co-host of the Twisted Metal Sisters podcast that's returning to the airways, Brandy Westerfield. How you girls doing?
Doing fabulous.
You're doing good to hear. All right. I got to add, because we were talking off the air.
Bless you.
Nina is a cancer survivor.
Yep.
And I know we were getting deep into it, but you got to explain, because I was literally getting ready to take it live, and I was like, hold on a minute. What? You lost a lung.
Yes.
How?
Still hasn't found it.
No, I still haven't found it. That's the problem. I really need my lung back, but I am on a transplant list. So one day I will find one.
Okay.
But
how did this happen?
What was that?
How did this happen?
Okay, I was going to be doing my laundry, right?
Uh-huh.
So people are very talented. They trip going downstairs. I am very talented. I tripped going up the stairs. So I hit the concrete, and I've never had a cut in my life, and I knocked my tooth out. Okay, well, the quarter penetrated my lung. So 2 days have passed, and I'm doing like this, and my husband's like, okay, we're going to just take you to ER. We go to ER. They do whatever they're doing, and they're saying this, and I'm listening to nothing. I'm like, I'm worried about this, the tooth. So I go home and clean my house and do whatever, and they're calling my husband and my sister over here. She needs to go to surgery now. So we finally get there, and I say, okay, are you going to fix the tooth? And they're like, knocking my shit out, And I wake up, and they're telling me they took not just my lung, which collapsed, but the whole lung because of cancer. And I didn't hear one word. All I was worried about was the tooth. Where's my freaking fucking tooth? And the doctor's looking at me like, are you mental or what? I'm like, no, I'm not. I want to know where my tooth is. Why is it not fixed? He's like, you had cancer. I'm like, okay, but where's my tooth? I was like, my husband just walks in going like this, and she goes like this. She's like, just go on with the tooth story. Just talk about that. So they explained to me they couldn't fix the tooth. And then it dawned on me, like, I think it was like day 6, I was in the hospital, that they took my lung. And I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? They took my fucking lung. They're not going to bring it back to me. Just like my tooth. And my husband just looked, he goes, oh my God, what are they giving you? I said, well, at the time they were giving me fentanyl. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like seeing all kinds of goofy shit and stuff. And I kept thinking these nurses were coming in to strangle me. And all they were doing was taking, the blood pressure cup and everything. And I was freaking out. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you, lady? Leave me alone, or bring me my tooth, and they just kept knocking me out and shit. So, yeah, that's my little lung story.
So, did you ever get a tooth? Did you ever get your tooth back?
Okay, no, I'm probably going to get a partial put in there. It's my badge of honor because, shit things happen to me in my life. I get stuck in bathrooms. I get stuck in toilets. I get, stuck behind weird things, and, I look at it this way. I'm surviving cancer.
Yes, you are.
I'm 3 years into it, knock on some wood always when I say that, because I have to keep going back in. I have to keep taking medicine every 6 months. And that's the hard part. And that's, the drugs are wonderful, but it really takes a toll on your body. It seriously does. And with me, the medication took a reverse effect. Instead of losing weight and getting real skinny and dehydrated, I started expanding with water. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I'm allergic to the weirdest things that's on the planet Earth.
So
I am not joking. I'm finding out every day. I just ate, what was it? Pomegranate or whatever the other day. And my mouth, oh, well, that was another story. And my mouth started swelling and I started getting these Mick Jagger lips. And my husband was like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I think I'm allergic to the fruit. He goes, did you taste it for a test? I'm like, well, no, I didn't know I had to, And yeah. And then to top it off, I figured, nothing else could happen right that. I got stung by a bee the next day, and I'm fucking allergic to bees. So my husband's like, what the fuck did you do to piss it off? I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just walked in the house. So I had to get the whole EpiPen because my throat started to swell. And Yeah, I'm like a 3-ring circus sometimes.
All the time.
Okay, hang on. I got so many damn questions right now because
How many hours do you have in this show?
You have one lung right now.
Yeah.
So
one lung.
I never knew that humans could live with just one lung. I always figured you had to have both.
To be honest with you, it was my right lung, which you have 3 wedges, and on your left you have 2 wedges because your heart's there. Well, I wish I would have took the left lung versus my right. So it kind of sucks for me right now. I can't do a lot of things like I used to. I can't even walk outside. When you open the door, it takes my breath away. It's like somebody punching you in the gut.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It really fucking sucks. Sorry if I'm cussing too much, but.
We don't.
Oh, no. Yeah. We're like sailors on here.
Yeah, no shit. So, Derry, is the lung like just it's part of the lung or the whole thing?
The whole thing's gone.
Wow.
I'm curious as to how the hell she just went on this super long diatribe with one lung and never went out of breath.
Well, you got to understand my life. Okay. I am a screamer. And that's not in a sexual way either. I go to concerts.
I'm a screamer.
So it's like, when I go to a concert, you can hear me on the other side of the, arena or something. And when I do have sex, you can really hear me towards the whole That's beside the point. So
screams when she has sex.
Okay, yeah. Well, and like I scream at like Harry Potter movies and
she
stuff.
She screams at everything. Everything scares her.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. But
lives 2 miles down the road.
What?
So when they took my lung, I had to learn how to breathe again and how to inhale again and how to basically walk and talk and breathe. I know it sounds weird to say that to somebody, but I actually had to learn.
Well, I mean, you're losing part of your lung capacity. Yeah. I mean, you're
Harry
also
Potter box set.
Shut up, Sage.
Oh, sorry.
I thought this is going to be just a normal interview, just a couple of authors who also. No, this thing went 90 miles an hour real fast. I
don't
like
know me very well. I thought Chris
I
was
don't.
On here.
I thought Sage was telling about us.
Yeah, I thought Sage would have told you too.
Well, Sage told me.
I only gave him a little bit.
Oh, you just gave him like just a little bit of like.
Yeah. And Bubba is good. Bubba had to sit. We had Bubba sit this one out because we use the interview shows to promote the person we're interviewing and also promote ourselves. And we don't want too much like cross talking.
Oh, no problem.
So, but he's going to come on for a couple of interviews. Sometimes. Well, Bubba don't.
Oh, Bubba knows me. Yeah,
I know.
We can yammer all night long, and then we don't even know what the hell we're talking about. To be honest,
it'd be a contest.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Bubba, but Bubba is too much of a girl because a while back he was talking about fucking pumpkin spice and Taylor Swift. I'm like, Jesus, what? Are you sure you're a man, dude? Are we? I mean, it's a new millennium. I get that. So.
That man doesn't even like steak. So I mean,
he don't eat pineapple either. What? April?
He doesn't like pineapple. He doesn't like steak. Yes, April. Nina is an author.
So, yes, I am an author. Yes.
All right,
sorry, we got off the subject, folks. I have my second. Sorry, I'm really off the subject tonight.
Brandy, how are you tonight?
Oh, they're backwards, of course. Joy of Murder is my first one.
Yeah.
And my second one, Holly's Murders.
Holly, so you wrote 2 books.
Yeah, my third one will be out in November, which is actually, I'll be probably done with it in the next couple of weeks, but I'm not going to have it published because I just, released Holly's Murders until November.
Okay. So your third book's done, but you're waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and I'm starting on the 4th book.
You're starting on a 4th book. Okay. So what got you into the idea of writing books so much?
Well, again.
What? Didn't you say earlier it was your lung is what?
Yeah, that's where I
got
was
you
just ready to go.
into
Oh, the lung surgery is what got you into
Yeah,
writing? Okay.
I was laying in the bed and I kept thinking that the nurse was strangling me. And I says, I would just love just to kill you. And I don't even know if I was talking to her or the beeping machine that was beside me, which is actually your heart rate thing. And I was apparently having conversations with it for hours. And the doctor was
That's
so
fucking
thrilled.
fentanyl.
Well, see, thank you. But the doctor was just sitting there going like this the whole time with my husband going, she'll eventually shut up. He goes, does she realize I took a lung out of her? And my husband goes, no, she probably won't realize it until like a year from now. And he was right, wasn't he? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was in pain and everything. It hurt and my ribs hurt, but I mean, just to have the concept of it, it's actually gone. It's never going to come back.
Sorry, my fiance is wanting to watch. Her phone's having issues. She's a
Oh, honey, I have issues. I was having issues getting into this thing. So trust me, I get it.
She's a huge bookworm, book dragon, she calls herself. So there you go. There you go. Take that. Go to the other room. All right. So what are your books about?
Just the good old-fashioned murder and serial killers.
Serial killers and murder. That's a pretty.
Let's see. Joy of Murder takes place. All my books take place in the state of Illinois. All my serial killers are true serial killers. Each book will have a true serial killer from the state of Illinois.
Wait, these are based on real serial killers?
Real serial killers.
So I was about to ask you, didn't you tell me that? Yeah.
Yes. My first book is Joy of Murder is about Paul Runge is the actual killer. But I gave him a different name. Everybody has different names, places, locations to protect the innocent. But I will give you his name. He was a serial killer in, I think it was the 80s and 90s. I got involved with it because I worked for the Illinois Department of Human Services. I was an executive 5 secretary. So how I got involved with it is he escaped from prison for 30 minutes. And as a serial killer, that's enough time to kill 2 people or more.
That is, yeah.
And he basically seduced a woman. Or I should say she thought she seduced him, but it was the other way around. And helped him escape. And now she's, of course, enjoying the livelihood of prison. I believe she probably gets out next year if she's eligible for parole. But that's not my story. My story is about him and the ruthless people that he actually killed. 2 immigrant sisters. They never found their bodies.
Oh, geez.
And yeah, he brutalized him with his ex-wife, but I don't talk about her in my story because she was given immunity by the district attorney for her testimony to put him in prison, and it fell through.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So he went through, let's see, it was 5 years before they were able to catch him, actually put him in prison, and convict him to death row. And it was a mother and her strength of when he slit her throat after he did vile things. Oh, we're rated X here, right? Okay.
Yeah.
He sodomized her. He did everything you could think about for a woman's body. He did it. And then here's the ruthless. Her daughter was there.
Oh.
The daughter was 7, but on my book, I gave her a little older age because it was very hard and very graphic. He did vile things to her. When he slit the mother's throat with every ounce of her, what was left as she was on fire, because he set her on fire.
Oh my God.
Both of them. She put her body on top of her vaginal area and stomach. Luckily she did because they were able to get the DNA from that little girl to convict the son of a bitch.
Wow.
So I thought it was important to give this, a story.
What year did all this go down?
It was roughly in the 80s and 90s.
It was in the 80s and 90s. Jesus.
Yeah. Because he started in 1987, was his first victim. She was a 13-year-old girl, and he was 17. And he kept her for 3 days hostage in his house.
Oh, my God.
And he did unspeakable things. She probably wished that she was dead. Because she was never a normal girl after that.
And this is all in your first book, The Joy of Murder.
Yeah, this is my first book, yeah. But also in my first book, I gave some closure to those 2 sisters I spoke about earlier for the family. In my book, I gave, we know they were tragically murdered, but I gave to where the family had a body or ashes to take home to give them respectfully a burial. I thought that was very important to do so. I did invent one of my other characters, which is Carol, and we have, of course, Holly.
And that's Holly on the page of that.
Yep, that's in my second book.
That's the second book.
Yes,
Okay.
I invented those characters to go with the storyline. It's not a documentary books, neither one of them. None of my books are. They are. There's a story about them, and I put my own twist of a story around it to give you some goosebumps, as she told me, and some gruesome things. She was eating one night, and she about threw up because of one of the things I wrote about.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's the butchering of Becky, one of the counselors. I what was it? Doused her with, no, that was acid. It was a hammer, wasn't it?
Yeah, you chopped her into hamburger.
Yeah, I made her into hamburger.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and in my second book, Holly's Murders, it starts out, Holly's in a coffin, but I'm not going to tell you how she got there, okay? You have to read the book to find out in the first one.
Okay, now Holly's like your main character, your hero
Yes.
character, your antagonist.
Kind of one of my main. You have to figure out my books. You have to read them because you know there's going to be one true serial killer in every book, but there could be 2 serial killers, 3, 4, or more.
And
you have to figure it out.
And these are literally based upon serial killers. And
no, just the one is only a true.
Oh, just one is based on a true. The other ones are made. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that first
I made
one,
those beautiful.
Man, this sounds like Scream.
Oh, kind of, but no.
The Scream or Saw, one of the two. That's what it sounds
well,
like.
you know, I was okay. Let's see. I'll give you a taste of one of my murders. I guess that came out wrong. A taste of my murders.
Yeah, especially whenever you chop people in the hamburger.
Well,
Jeez, what's your fifth book?
What?
Is your fifth book going to be called My Secret, and it's all going to come down to you being a serial killer?
No. When we get to the fourth,
that would be awesome.
Would you stop giving her ideas? Okay, really.
Hey, I mean, you can take it.
With Holly's Murders, it starts out. Holly's in a coffin. That's how it starts out, and she's giving your perspective of how she got there, why she's there, and then you find out about Carol, which is her favorite character, Lucinda. You find out about Samantha, and you get your new serial killer in the second book. It happened in Springfield, Illinois in 1981 on South Grand. A man walks into a hardware store. He grabs an axe off the wall. He clubs the owner in the head and basically kills him and maims a couple other people. To this day, 37 years later, they never caught the man.
Really?
Yes. You want to go over there in that purple and go grab that file? I'll show you a picture here. Oh, actually.
Wait a minute.
You got a picture in the book?
Yes.
It'd be 43 years later now.
Well, actually, at the time when I wrote the book, it was 37 years. So, and this is what the guy looked like.
Fair enough.
Let me see here. That's what he looks like.
To this day, that's what he looks like. Or back then is what he looked like, actually. Sorry. In 1981, this is
son of a bitch.
of what that guy looked like. And
Do you want me to go get
Sage?
Sage, that almost kind of looks like you now. I kind of look at it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm kind of want to think. Let me see. Can you take your hands down, honey? You want to grab my phone so we can call the Crime Stoppers? They're right there.
In 1981, I would have been a toddler.
1981.
No, seriously. They never caught the man. And here's the story.
Yeah, I would have been a toddler. Come on now.
He supposedly got into a Pinto, drove down Route 29. Through people that I spoke to throughout the years, he went to Edinburgh, and there's a hardware store. Luckily, that day there was apparently 19 people in the store. This guy walks in with blood, and you're thinking, oh, well, somebody should have called the police. Well, this is back in the 80s, okay? There's pig farmers and stuff like that, so that you had to go out there and you had to kill the chickens and the pigs back then. Not like you do today where you have machinery that, does it for you.
Right.
So nobody kind of thought this was weird, this guy coming in with blood on him. Until the state troopers and the sheriff's departments and, local cops come in and say, hey, did you see a Pinto? Did you see a guy? And everyone's like, well, yeah. And he went towards Taylorville on 29.
Oh, so you wouldn't catch me dead going towards Taylorville.
I'm about to say, so this guy goes into a hardware store, gets a hammer. He's covered in blood.
No, it's an axe, not a hammer.
He gets an axe. I'm sorry, an axe. He gets an axe. I don't know why I thought hammer. Gets an axe, goes out, comes back with blood all over him, and it's a different time. Because April wants to know, where can she buy your books? April is huge
you can
on this.
buy them online. The Joy of Murder. I have nothing to do with that. That was a totally different publishing company. I fired them a long time ago. You can go online right now. Yes. Okay. As my publicist says, go online, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or Facebook personally, Brandy Westerfield, and you can get the books. And I will sign those, and I will take photos with you. I'll personally deliver them to you, whatever. But the others, I have nothing to do, and I will not sign them. I do still have a few first editions of Joy of Murder left, and I do write inside them a certain message, so it's a first edition. Just like Holly, This one here is a first edition right now.
Okay. There's where you can get. There's where you can talk. There's where you can get a hold of Brandy to get a book. For yourself.
It looks like down here you just put down Rock and Roll Angel. Yep. That's it. That's how you can get a hold of her.
April wants to know: is it hard print only, or do you have digital copies?
I had digital out, but we had to take it down because the systems wasn't matching up to other people's systems. I don't understand all that hoopla stuff. I'm not in the techie world, so eventually it will be available on audio and all that. Now, this book, like I said, with the other company, you can get it on audio, but I'm telling you right now, it's done with an AI program. Some of it's me, and the other part is AI.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was very pissed off when I found that fucking shit out. I was like, how dare you take my words and let some computer that doesn't even know the meaning of what I'm trying to say fuck up my story. And that's what happened. And so I had to rewrite the whole entire book back to its status, get all my notes out, everything.
So what's the process for you writing a book? You just choose a subject matter, and that's just you go with it, or like?
Well, let me just put this. Last weekend was it, or the weekend before? We went to a Comic-Con.
Okay.
We're sitting at a dinner table and we're having a conversation with a bunch of people, and they asked me the same thing. How hard is it to write a murder scene, or how hard is it to get an idea and start writing a story? So once I was sitting there, I was enjoying the conversation with everybody. We were there for about an hour and a half. I wrote a book about it.
You wrote a book.
Who killed who and how they did it. And they were just impressed of how quickly I can come up with a story. Just like I can come up with a story with you two killing each other right now, especially him, because he looks like my killer. I'm definitely right now.
wait, hold it. Which one of us looks like the killer?
Look, I swear to God, now you can see him. He does, Sage. I swear to God, where did that picture go? See, you got those eyes. He's got those eyes.
Well, look, he now took his glasses off.
I know. Now look, see, look, say you're saved right now because I can't find the picture again. This is the story of my life.
Plus,
she can't find my paperwork, and I can't find the
It was in there.
I think the guy in the photo, if I recall, he had like the drawing. He had like more wrinkles and like almost like really old grizzled look.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's so you. That is so you. Where's that Crime Stopper? Where's that cop at yet? Are you still at home? I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. Okay.
Maybe I should.
As I said, I was toddler in the early '80s, so.
Sure you were. Okay. Did you get the phone yet?
So after you write the book, Brandy over there is
Nina. You've hung out with me at a bar. You hung out with a serial killer.
I'm what?
I said, you hung out with me in a bar. You hung out with this one.
I know. That's where I know this guy from.
I got a picture of me and you together.
So, Brandy, you're the publicist. You're her publicist.
Yes.
How does this work for you? She gives you a book and like what? How does this work?
I basically help her sell the books, and I take care of basically all her appointments and stuff. I was going to be her manager, but we decided she don't need a manager. She can do it all herself. Because we used to do promotions and stuff like that, so she knows how to do all the business aspects of it. So,
how much does it usually cost to publish one of these books?
It varies. We'll just put it that way.
I couldn't find
Let's see how to explain it. If you do with these companies like Archway, what was it, World Circus, there's a whole bunch of them that's listed out there. If you go and look for them, do not use any of them. They're scams.
There's Bubba. There he is.
Whoa, Bubba. They take your money, bottom line is what they do, and they fuck you without any lube. And they sit there and then they want more money off of you. And then they give you the hopes and dream that you're going to be a big success and all this other bullshit. And they want to go over your marketing, plan. And I looked at her and she looked at I, and their marketing plan is like, you're basically telling me to go fuck myself because you're going to market me how? You're going to put my books in grocery stores? No. I said,
yes, ma'am. They take rights to your shit. Yeah.
Yep.
April's right.
Yes. And so that's why with the first book came out, The Very Joy of Murder. Here's the kicker, right?
Uh-huh.
Our computers weren't matching up. Okay. I'm not going to go through the whole techno bullshit. Somebody out there will probably know what the hell I'm talking about, but there's like an ODT and a, what was a COD or whatever the fuck it was. We weren't matching up. So we finally was able to send my manuscript to them that was matchable. I was like, yay, congratulations. We got it sent to you. Here's the kicker though. It had 3 chapters of my book. My shopping list was in there. Telling me my story about her and talking about my lung and how we, I was thinking about having, sex, but I was kind of curious, how to have sex and all this bullshit, and they publicized this. They put it in a book.
They put all that in a book.
They put it in a fucking book. And I'm like,
They didn't proof it.
They didn't proof nothing. They told me they were going to proof it, right? So I'm doing a book show. I got my books. I'm all excited, like, yay! I got my book. I'm going to go do a book show, right? Because we've been waiting for it, right? So a friend of mine, he's like, the first 3 chapters. That's some good shit. You could really write. I'm like, great. He says, but did you ever get your eggs, bread, razors, shampoo? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, on this page. I'm like, what the fuck?
And this was the publicist that you said, this was the first publicist.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were wanting the rest of their money from me. And I had only paid them $550 or $700 at that time.
$700. Holy just to publish your grocery list. Holy shit.
Bottom line. And here he comes up there. What was his name? I can't remember the fucker's name. But he says, well, we'll put your book in grocery stores. I'm like, looked at him. I says, who the fuck uses grocery stores,
grocery lists?
Yeah, who goes to maybe my fiance, if she's like looking for a book, she'll spot one. Like, a book, right? I didn't know this store sold books. But...
Yes, don't get me wrong. Yes, I get that, but we're talking like IGA kind of grocery store kind of thing.
Oh, no.
Okay,
no.
Thank you. No. And he says, well, why don't you go ahead and you send us what was it, $2,000, and we'll do this for you and this for you and this for you. And I scratched my head. I looked at her. I says, boy, I can get more off of a pimple off an ass than I can from you, motherfucker. Because the fact is this, I can go to a bar and I can publicize my own book and sell the fuck out of it. And it's not a fucking shopping list, motherfucker. And he goes, well, what are you talking about? I said, did you even look at the book? Did you open it up? And he's like, yeah. I was like, no, you fucking didn't. So then
go look at chapter 4. It's my shopping list.
Yeah. Thank God I didn't say I had to use a douche or something, the world, what fragrance are you using, kind of thing. It's like,
didn't you Didn't you say it had your sex life in there too, or something
Yeah,
about
because
sex
I was,
life?
planning out,
Oh, my.
when we were thinking about, and I was asking about her sex life, because it's one of our chats. It was our chat shit that was in there. It was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And the whole world has, thank God there was only like 5 or 10 copies made, and here's the kicker, ready? Here's the kicker. I sold 4 of those fucking books. And I don't know to whom.
So 4 people have your shopping list.
And we honestly was trying to get back to these people and say, hey, we have the actual right book now. You can, we'll give you another book. Just give me back that one so you don't have all my,
Oh, my.
Well, think about it though. I mean, once you really start taking off, that book's going to be worth some fucking money.
Oh,
God.
But here's the thing, though. They said, "Oh, we'll treat you right. We'll do it better." And they did the second book, okay?
Okay.
And it was an AI.
And yeah, so they didn't treat you better. They used AI. Yeah.
They put an AI onto it. So I said, "Fuck you. Have a nice night. Whatever." And they're like, "Well, you're still going to pay us, right?" I said, "For fucking what? For humiliating me? No, I can do that myself. I don't need you."
So what kind of advice would you give for people? Because I see like Tim in here, our buddy Hollywood, he started writing a story. It would be 8 chapters if it was published so far. And then of course we have April. She mentioned that she has ideas and all that stuff. What advice would you give someone who's like starting out wanting to be an author?
Okay. First of all, if you're starting it, have somebody proofread it, obviously.
Okay.
Proofread it, go over it with them, discuss it. But even the person that's proofreading, make sure they understand your concept of your book. Okay. Then shop around. I shopped around. I found a publishing company that is doing my books, which is
R&R Bookbinder.
Yes, R&R Bookbinder here in Girard, Illinois. The only thing is you have to send it to them correctly, everything 100%, because their equipment, they're not really equipped as a publishing company. They just produce books.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is the first copy. And that's why you have first copies, sometimes second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, because it's not set correctly. And that's why this is the first edition. It will be redone again, yes. And that's how basically stories go. People are like, oh, no, they write them the first time. It's all correct. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody does. Not
Right.
even go over there and grab that black book. Edgar Allan Poe. I have a book by Edgar Allan Poe. My dad gave this to me when I believe I was 10 or 13. It's in the bookshelf over here towards me. Yep, right in there. Right there. Your finger up in there. See, I told you she doesn't know her left from her right. Yes, Edgar Allan Poe. But here it is, Edgar Allan Poe.
Looks like a Bible.
It is a 3rd edition. I don't know if you can see how old looking it is.
It's very old looking,
yeah.
yes.
I don't usually show this book off to people, but everybody knows who Edgar Allan Poe is.
I have no idea.
You never
Shut up. You know who he is.
I'm telling you. But this here tells you that these books have been reproduced, and produced. So each time you get your stories, you think you're reading that book for the very first time, which you are, but the author is not. It could be number 100, it could be number 75, it could be 200 for that matter. But people have to understand, you're never going to get a book right the first fucking time. And if they believe that, then I'll tell you that unicorns will fly out on my fucking ass. And that's a fucking fat ass right now.
There it goes.
Oh, there it goes. There's a fucking unicorn. Okay.
Well,
I don't want to be crude about it, but I'm just trying to prevent somebody else from doing what I did with this company. Don't go for that bullshit. And here's the thing: they thought they were cool because I have a big following in Germany. I sold 5,000 fucking books, and I was like, yes, and I've got them on my fan page, and I'm yapping with them, and it's the wrong kind of fucking book, by the way. And here's the thing: I got my royalty check, and I was all excited, getting all yay. Guess what I made?
how much you make?
Take a wild guess.
Okay, so a royalty check for that book.
In Germany.
Just Germany we're talking about.
Germany.
You made $700.
Oh, I love him. No.
We wish.
Less.
Less.
$250.
Less.
$100.
Less.
No way.
Yes, way.
$75.
Less.
No way.
$53.
You made 50. And how much did it cost to put that book out in Germany?
$40 a book. Do the mathematics. Yep.
You sold 5,000 books and you basically made the money
I
of
made
one
shit.
book.
Nothing.
Wow.
But here's the thing. I have those people on my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok page. They want the second book. You can go put that back. They want the second book now. And guess what? They're going through TMS management to get the book now. And that's through Brandy Westerfield and me.
Okay. That's TMS. That's Twisted Metal Sisters.
Yeah.
That's your podcast. Yeah. I can be, as much as, people like Sage want to sit there and say I'm not, I could be smart.
Hey, I've never once said you're not smart. I just said you're not very intelligent at times.
I will go through and find all the sound clips where you call me dumbass. Don't tempt me. I just download every episode we've ever made.
Dumbass.
That's another one for the pile.
As well. And I thought, I'd get a nice royalty check finally from them. I have around, about 3,000, maybe 4,000 viewers over there. And I've sold about 2,000 books. Same shit happened. I got a check for $23.
Why so little?
Oh, well, this is what they don't tell you is, we had to come up with this cover.
Okay.
And then we had to come up with this here paper. And then we had to come up with this glue. And then we had to come up with this binding. And then we had to come up with the printer for this here ink. I was like, go fuck yourself. Okay, whatever. I'm done with you. You're fired. And I went ahead. I signed all the paperwork. Have them, done. I said, here, you know what? You can have my shopping list paper. You can have it.
So you're going to make more money with Brandy as your publicist.
Yes.
So is that why a lot of authors do online digital only nowadays? Because it's cheaper
it is.
And they make more money. Okay.
Yes.
So that's why
you can charge a person $1.99 to $9.99 on digital.
Okay.
Without having complications.
Because I know my fiance, she has a Kindle, a tab.
Yes.
She's got books like crazy.
I'm going to be switching over to Kindle and all of those, and also audio. I have a woman who wants to do the audio, and I think she'll be perfect reading my book. She's kind of twisted like we are, so it'll be like a match in, kind of heaven.
Right.
Kinda, I hope. Unless she's more quicker than this.
So you have two books right now.
Uh-huh.
Third book comes out in November, and you're already starting the fourth book. Maybe those books are where you'll start breaking the mold and start making more money off them.
Well, like I told her, it's not just about the money, to be honest with you. It's about getting the awareness out there for people about how these serial killers act. I'm going to do something what I normally do at my shows. I'm going to show you some photographs, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to show them to you twice. And these are mug shots, people. Mug shots, okay? Okay. Good guy, bad guy. Good guy, bad guy. Good guy, bad guy. Good guy, bad guy. Now I'm going to go through them again a little slower, and I'm going to ask you if it's a good guy or bad guy this time. Ready? Is this a good guy or a bad guy?
I'm going to say
bad
good guy.
Okay. Good guy or bad guy?
I'm going to say that's a bad guy. There's
Okay.
something about that smile.
Good guy.
What do you think, Sage?
That guy is a good guy.
Okay. Good guy, bad guy.
Bad guy.
Bad guy.
Okay. Good guy, bad guy.
Bad guy.
Bad guy. Yeah, something with his eyes too.
Okay. Well, this guy here, good guy.
Yes, I got that one right.
This guy here, good guy, killed by a serial killer.
Oh, he's a victim. He's a victim.
Yeah.
I got it right.
This guy here, he's a good guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But if you were one of my ladies that was in the audience, I would have told you right now, you're alive. Ask me why.
Why?
Because this is my serial killer I wrote about.
That's the serial killer you wrote about. That's the guy. Wow.
And how he would kill somebody, he'd make sure you guys are off to work, or the brother or grandpa, whoever the male person was in the house. As soon as he knocked on that door, the woman opened the door, she was dead. That's how quick he was. He'd use the door as a weapon, knock her down, incapacitate her, rape her right then and there. Then when he was done raping her, he'd tie her up with barbed wire or with duct tape or with both. Then he'd drag her around, rape her again. Then when he was done, he'd either dismember her or he'd set her on fire or both.
Jesus.
Nice guy. And here's the kicker. Pat Quinn acquitted him. No,
What?
Not acquitted him. Gave him life in prison. Sorry.
Oh, no. Someone like that. No, by all means.
He was
Death penalty.
He was supposed to be executed already.
Death penalty. That guy.
Yes, he should have been already dead. And I was, whenever this came across my desk, and I was like, back in the 90s, I was like, like I told you earlier, he escaped for 30 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
And in
I think I remember hearing about that when he escaped.
In Naperville, Illinois.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they were searching everywhere. They were even searching my hometown of Woodson, and I was like 4 or 5 at the time.
It was like 32 and a half minutes or something. He was completely gone. So the reason why we got involved, DHS, is he was being transferred from prison to one of our facilities to be evaluated because he confessed to another murder. But we had to make sure he's, telling the truth, and then blah, 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 blah. And once he was being transported, the woman that the prison guard lady, she helped him escape. So,
I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
Now, what happened with her?
Remember when I told you earlier in the story? She's about ready to be either released from prison or they may just keep her. Personally, I think she needs to stay in jail as long as he does, because she potentially could have allowed him to go back and kill again. And he would have killed her. He already said he was going to kill her. He was just waiting to get somewhere far away from Illinois. Then he was going to kill her. And then there you have it.
What is it that causes these people to think like, this is a lifestyle? You fall in love with someone, but you show your ultimate love by killing them. It's like, what causes that?
Well, they say it's something in the brain, but the thing is they keep killing the people before they have a chance to actually study the brain.
Well,
and they figured out that they have to actually study the brain while it's still alive instead of studying the brain whenever it's already dead, because they got to figure out which.
Ted Bundy was still alive before they execute him. He helped convict the Green River Killer.
He did.
Yes. Because he says, I'm telling you right now, he's putting rocks up in the vagina area because that's how he's marking his victims. That's his hole only. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was 100%. And he said he's going back there time and time and time again, having sex with them once they're dead, because that's what he did, Bundy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that was also another big argument with what was his name? Dahmer. They were going to examine
Jeffrey Dahmer.
brain, but the family fought so hard for the brain to be cremated too. They actually took the brain out of Dahmer after he was murdered.
Yes.
Because they were going to study it.
But at the same time, it would have been a dead brain. They wouldn't have been able to figure out too much. They need to have the brain still alive.
Right.
Which is what the BAU figured out years after all this shit. And I think the BAU is something they really need to have and really need to keep going. Even though there's been talks about the BAU being shut down.
I just want to point out, this is apparently the first podcast we've done where Skeletor says he needs some drink for this.
He needs some what?
Skeletor is...
Start drinking. We drink all the time on the show, but we're just not doing it tonight for some reason. I don't know why, but...
Skeletor is our resident...
I'm drinking heavy water tonight. Sorry, folks. Usually we drink a glass of wine.
I'm drinking Mountain Dew, so I haven't drank in a long time, honestly.
Drinking beer.
Yeah. Sage, I'm telling you, he's our serial killer, motherfuckers. I'm telling you right now.
Which one?
Well, the one I keep
I'm
showing
the
you.
nicest fucking guy in the world.
So April, who's one of our
How do I
co-hosts,
get
says,
serial killer vibes?
if you ever need an ARC reader, she volunteers as tribute. April
Aw.
is heavily. April, Casey Ray from Notorious Escapades, they are heavy into this stuff with serial killers. I think,
Should I give
isn't
him a sample of
Bubba, I don't know if you're watching or not, but isn't Casey Ray what, Sage?
What? What'd you? Oh my God, he's looking like the
So
serial
why
killer.
I would be?
Bubba, I know you're watching. Isn't Casey like covering some murder from Taylorville that's still still open or something like that? I can't remember.
Now I'm gonna give you a little taste of my third book real quick.
Okay.
It's called Carol's Revenge.
Carol's Revenge.
You learn about Nancy Grayson and Holly. She's vilely raped, and she gets revenge in the third book. That's why it's called Carol's Revenge. You have to read it to figure it out.
Okay.
But one part of my killing, I'm just going to give you a little little story with it. She finds the clerk that sets up for all these women to be raped and abused and everything. So she sneaks her little way into her house. And this woman loves to color her hair blonde. So she grabs, and back in it was the 60s and 70s, this era, okay? When you had peroxide that was in a bottle. You remember that?
Yes.
Are you guys too young for that?
No, I remember that.
I know the peroxide in the bottle. Tyler, you're the youngest one here. So.
I am not the youngest. Lizzie's now the youngest, but I do remember the peroxide in the bottle, jackass.
Don't point at me, you son of a bitch.
Hey, I'm not the one who looks like a serial killer tonight.
Yeah, he does. I'm telling you. I've showed you now like 3 times. Oh, wait a minute. I said 3 times.
We do this shit all the time.
But anyway, she put sulfuric acid in the peroxide bottle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And that's all you're going to get
Hey,
tonight.
is there any way that you could add me as a character in one of your books?
Most certainly.
That'd be
Oh,
great.
yes.
That'd be awesome.
My third book has to deal with these guys, the Ripper Crew.
Oh.
They're
Now,
from
they're out-
Chicago, Illinois.
They're from Chicago as well.
I could totally be one of the characters in the Ripper Crew.
Well, this guy right here, this one right here, he was released 3 years ago, and he lives in Peoria, Illinois, as we speak today. This one right here.
Oh,
This guy
wow.
right here. They were necrophiliacs, cannibals, rapists, torturists, and of course, they're murderers.
Wait. So these 4, that guy was released?
Yeah, this guy right here.
What, was he on parole or something?
You have to remember
That is so weird
yeah.
because, like,
and here's the thing.
with
They
my
said
wrestling gimmick,
he was cured. He was cured. How does somebody get cured after they started eating humans? Explain this to me.
I
don't know.
No, like
Is there just a
electroshock
lack of,
therapy.
Instead of him getting hungry for a burger, I'm going to get hungry for, an arm. Oh, I actually bit her too. So maybe I'm a cannibal.
Wonder about you.
I know.
In my wrestling career, like, I get to pick out where my character is from. And I trained in Chicago, and then I said I was from Peoria.
Oh God!
And now my character's from Hell, Michigan.
Might be.
I think he is. I'm joking. You're not our serial killer.
So, what happened to the other
Not
ones? What happened to the other
One
3?
was executed, and the other ones are still in jail.
Okay, so one was executed,
Mhm.
and the other ones were. How do you get cured? I mean, that doesn't
I'm
make any
still
sense.
trying to figure this one out. It's going to be in my book a little bit. I give a little bit. Sorry, I'm having I gotta stop looking because I got like a little calic going. And when I get nervous, I'm not joking. Okay, when I get nervous, it's like my hair goes like an alfalfa, and it's like a real thing. Okay, sorry. But back
You're
to
doing good. You're doing good.
I have issues. I told you that.
Maybe you do need a glass of wine.
I know. I'm telling you. I think I do. I'm still trying to figure this out. How is this man cured from eating humans? Seriously.
Well, back in the day, whenever they were like putting mental wards and stuff like that, you remember they did a lot of electroshock therapy. So I
Yeah,
wonder
they
if he-
did.
But it's still not going to cure. It's going to suppress a memory. That's all that is. I was at a psychiatric
Yeah, it's going to
nurse for 5
suppress.
years, and that's all it does is suppress that memory. Is all it does. But I'm sorry,
And I'm
you're
a
cooking at a
doctor of
barbecue.
psychology.
Tyler's cooking at this barbecue, and Sage, you come looking in there, and he starts looking at you, kind of look like you're tasty. And then comes April, and April's like, "Oh," and what April's missing. The next thing you know, she's on the grill being cooked.
What? Why is no?
Oh.
See, no. Well, hang on, man. I don't get into that stuff.
April looks at me like I'm tasty all the time. So.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm telling you, he's our serial killer. Where's that crap? Where's that Deborah? I'm telling you. I'm joking.
April looks at me like, you son of a bitch. I hate you.
No, I'm just using April. I'm just using you as a reference. I can't use her all the time.
Well, she gets it too. I mean, like I said, April's a huge fan of this stuff. My fiance is more into the romance novel stuff, but April, and I think Casey Ray, who watches our show, they're big into this stuff. They live and breathe this. There's a huge interest in the whole serial killer, mass murderer type thing. Yeah,
murder,
it's like
mystery, serial killer stuff, and
really
I love it too.
It really kind of picked up heavily when Netflix released that Dahmer series, and now they get ready to do the Menendez brothers. And
I don't
they
know.
already did the Menendez.
It's out. Yeah. It's already out. Okay,
it's already out.
Yeah.
It sucks, but
you see,
sorry.
Yeah. I get into like the BAU a lot. And did you guys ever watch the series Manhunter?
Yes, we talked about that, and yes, I did watch it because you can ask her. I watch TV and I read books 24/7 because I don't sleep and that's because I don't have the lung, and that's a whole nother ball of wax. I don't sleep, so I have to occupy myself.
Mindhunter, yeah.
So I do watch it, yes, and I've watched several episodes on it. I can't tell you exactly which ones I've watched without the list right in front of me because, like I told you, I think
I watched the whole series, and I really think they should have kept that goddamn show going.
I agree with you. I do. I find right now. Oh, here we go. They just came out on Paramount.
Oh, jeez.
The Happy Face Killer.
The Happy Face Killer.
Okay, David Arquette played the role in a movie a couple years back, and he did a really good job, by the way, just to let you know. Now it's Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid playing the Happy Face Killer. And I'll get to why I'm kind of pissy about that. But anyway, he's actually playing a really good part. But here's the thing. It's not following the book.
Really?
No, it's not following, and it's following off the record, but not on the record kind of thing. And I don't like shows like that. If you're going to write a story, it should be, this is my philosophy, and I'm going to stick to it. If I'm writing my story, I want you to produce my story, not you come up with some bullshit like you were saying earlier about Scream and all that, which is about a serial killer, is how the guy came up with the idea for Scream, because there was a serial killer and he got scared, and that's how he came up with the idea for the movie Scream. And now look at the franchise to this day.
Uh-huh.
With another one getting ready to come out.
Yeah, exactly. I have had a couple of producers ask me if they can make this into a miniseries, my books. And I told them, I said, exactly. So like I told her, it's not about the money. It's about my story.
Right.
That's my name with the story. Okay, if you want to change the name, I get it. To where it's more catchy to the viewer. Okay. But my name still has to stay in there, and my story has to stay in there. And I want to be part of that writing team because, motherfuckers, I wrote the story and I deserve to be paid for it.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Not monetary in that sense.
Well, surely if they were sitting there saying, "Hey, we want to take your story and make it into a TV series or something like that," surely they would be like crediting you as a producer or a writer. But that doesn't always happen. There's
look at poor Stephen King, and I say, they fucked him over so badly, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's a Okay, that's nice, but get this: Carrie, Cujo, Salem's Lot. Shall I continue? He didn't get no credit for that. None.
He
got a check like I did for $23, and he probably didn't get Vaseline because I didn't get none.
I mean, there's a big controversy going on with Amazon.
Yes, exactly.
And
look at Anne Rice. Okay, Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't mean to jump in there, guys. But
No,
yeah,
you're
Anne
fine.
Rice was another one. You know, I was turned on to her back in my dad gave it to me in 1978. My first book was Interview with the Vampire. I was 8 years old. That book scared the fuck out of me. And the second book I read was The Shining. It even scared I was like, what the fuck? But I started to love these books and I started to understand these books. They're not scary. They're stories. Okay. These motherfuckers, that's scary.
Yes.
Yeah, that's scary.
And that's why with my books, I could have wrote about a documentary on all these people. But how many times has that been done? Okay.
A lot.
I thought, let's give some closure to the families. Let's do something different a little bit. So I invented my own people and my own little world.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were saying it's like a Scream kind of thing. Isn't that what he said earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's not. And it's not like Saw. I'm going to tell you what, it's not that easy to come up with ways to kill people. Just to let you know.
For her, it is.
Shut up.
I know. I tried.
Seriously. It just kind of falls out of
And
her head.
it is kind of easy to come up with ways to kill people.
Oh, it is. For me, it's very easy.
Yeah,
I've already had an experience with the law enforcement stat to make sure I'm not. But my fourth book, fourth book is called Detective Martin's Journeys, and in that, I'm going to try to sit down with somewhere local. I'd like to be cold case files, just like the one that's in my Hollies.
Cool.
Cold case file.
Well, the one in Holly is a cold case file because they never caught the motherfucker. They never caught him. He's still at large to this day. He would either be 67 or 75 years of age. That's why I keep showing that photograph. I can't enhance it. I don't know how to make it.
How old would he be at this time?
I would estimate he'd have to be between 68 and 75 because the picture, I would say he would have to be between 30 and 45 in that picture. Now, isn't that frightening?
That is frightening. He's still out there somewhere for what he did. Well, okay, so there was a lot of there was like the body on the turnpike last summer. Remember that, Sage?
Yes, we were just talking about that.
There were people, and there's been a couple bodies that turn up randomly too. Some people still claim there's a serial killer active in Illinois, Central Illinois.
Several active in Illinois.
Yeah,
there is.
And they're probably watching tonight.
What was it?
Old man walking down the street on the way home, and I felt so sorry for him. I thought, nope, serial killer, bye.
There are a few missing kids.
And he was an older guy too. He was like in his 60s or something. I thought, man, I really want to give him a ride, but with my luck.
Well, what is it I heard? What is I heard? If you're next to an interstate, chances are you're near a serial killer. That's what I heard? It's something like that.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. The I-5 killer.
Yeah.
The I-5 killer would get off the I-5, and within 8 blocks from getting off that interstate, he raped and murdered women.
Wow.
And kids. So that just tells you, as we were saying, yes, they need to look at their brains and all this, but what's that going to prove, and
well,
they're going to give you a
with
bullshit.
The studies, I don't know.
They're sociopaths. They have no empathy or apathy. They're narcissists. They're going to tell you what you want to hear, and they're going to go with all this here and blah, blah, blah. They have no remorse, and they're just going to tell you stories. And that's what it is. You have to take their stories and figure out if they're actually telling you a story or if they're actually telling you about a murder they already committed. And it befuddles me because everyone says, oh, Charlie Manson was the worst serial killer. Motherfuckers, he wasn't even a serial killer. He just talked the shit and somebody else went out and did it.
Oh, yeah. Charlie.
Manson, he didn't commit one murder.
No, he didn't do one thing. It was his little cult.
Exactly. Exactly. But those are the motherfuckers that was actually the serial killers.
Yes. That's
He just had the gift of gab to convince people to do shit for him.
He did.
Yeah. But it's up to the individual themselves if they have empathy or apathy for others. And they are saying, oh, well, it was because we were doing THC or we were doing peyote or we were doing, what was the other one? Marijuana. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Marijuana's not going to make you go serial killer, please. I'm sorry. Nor drinking. Okay. Now, I would say peyote, it's a possibility. You can think a cactus that you're hacking up a cactus. Could be a human being. That could be possible,
By
Might
the
be
way,
a little wet. You'd think after a while it might be a little salty.
By the way, I just want to point out that one of our listeners just sent in. They want to know what we think about this as we're talking about the serial killers. We talked about the Jeffrey Dahmer and the Menendez brothers show. They've announced their third season is going to cover the guys who did those 2 serial killers. The third season is going to cover Ed Gein, and they got Charlie Hunnam
from
Sons of Anarchy and Rebel Moon to star as Ed Gein. Yes. I can see that. He's very good. He's a very good actor, but that's going to be a role I probably will stop liking him in because the shit Ed Gein did is like...
he was a sadistic fuck.
Oh,
that's where you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, Silence of the Lambs. You name. I can continue with the movies from Ed Gein. But here's the thing. He was, in a way, he was still kind of normal until the fucking devastation of his life and the abuse. Everyone's like, oh, when you're abused, this is what happened. Okay, get the fuck out of here. Seriously.
Right.
A person who's being, abused every fucking day is not going to turn into a serial killer.
No.
There's just something up here that just is not magnetically, it's not right.
Right. So, Brandy, I keep forgetting. Would you like to speak something?
I'm perfectly fine.
You're perfectly fine. I'm sorry, because I know Nina's sitting here. We're talking serial killers. We're talking about her cancer. And I keep looking over, and I'm like, poor Brandy. She must be bored. I'm so sorry.
No. We've been talking back and forth. Haven't you been paying attention? Oh, my God. He's not even listening to us. I've been asking about, bit her arm too hard? And
I was answering some questions.
That's okay.
Now, did you guys see that they just made on Netflix another movie about dude from Chicago, the clown,
Gacy.
Oh, Gacy.
Yeah, Wayne. Gacy. They just made another new.
Exploited him and Ted Bundy.
Oh my God! So many goddamn times.
Yeah, and that's why I'm writing what I'm writing about, because these are serial killers nobody ever heard of. Or if they have, they forgot about them, or they weren't in the headlines.
I appreciate what you're doing.
So get the idea. There are other fucking serial killers out there. There's more boogeymen out there.
Yeah.
They're not all away in prison right now. They're still out there looking for victims. I mean, we just talked about one, the torso off of the interstate, I-55.
And that shit's going to keep happening. And it's like that dude, he drops one off and then he waits and waits. Yes. And then eventually, here the weather is changing. There's going to be another one.
There kind of already was. Wasn't there one they found the other day out on?
There was one. Yeah.
60. They found a dead person, but a deceased person, but they haven't released the state of the body. But it was just, they said it was laying off to the side of the road, but it wasn't in a bag or something. It was just like somebody dropped them off.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that could also be gang related, or
But the way they're killed, it's not gang related.
How were they killed? Did they release that?
No, this you're talking about just 3 weeks ago or something like that.
About 3 weeks ago, yeah. Did they announce how that?
No, this lady, it was a lady, and she just died because of natural causes out in the weather.
It might have been. I'm not sure. It could have been the hit and run New Berlin. It's just Facebook.
Or are you talking about the lady in Springfield?
Not the lady in Springfield.
Walking along New Berlin, she was 30 something, and somebody came along and hit her.
I gotta look it up real quick because there's been a couple of weird things happening in Illinois lately. We just had that situation at McDonald's up in Springfield where the guy ended up taking out somebody who was assaulting him in a car. We just talked about it last night. So,
well, like I was telling her, there's so many murders that happen and so many open cases. And everyone's like, well, why isn't the police doing anything? They are doing it.
Oh, yeah.
They are doing the best they can. People, I know they want closure.
Well, there's still an open case down here where I live.
There's an open case on numerous ones that like I said, in my fourth book, I would like to put some of that in text. And I want you guys to have the first, exclusive when that comes out, if that's okay with you guys. But
absolutely.
What was that again?
Whenever I do my fourth book, whenever I get the cold case files, I'll give you guys an exclusive.
Hell yes.
Of course, they're going to only give me bits and pieces, the most important stuff they won't give. That's common sense.
Right.
But at the same sense, I always look at it this way. If somebody can come forward on Holly and they see that picture and they say, hey, that's my grandpa or that's my uncle, maybe they can close this case,
Yeah.
That's what I look forward to seeing, And like I said, with the immigrated two women, I gave some kind of closure. I feel their bodies were never found. They were put in dumpsters. We know that the detective up in Chicago said that there was blood on the dumpsters. So there was two different types. So they figured that Runge and his wife put the bodies in the dumpsters, and the trash picked them up and threw them away. Sage, yes, yes, everyone knows that Gacy lived in Springfield for a minute, but that's another thing with Gacy. He was a notorious serial killer and an artist and everything, but it's so been done so many times. I've talked to his sister because she was with a publishing company that I was with in the beginning when I started doing all this, and I linked up with her. She has a different name, different town, blah, blah. Her family doesn't even know that that's her brother.
Really?
Yeah. And her book should be out now, shouldn't it be?
I don't know.
It's either now or it'll be out this year winter coming up. And her family's going to know that, well, they know now, obviously, but this was her brother, Gacy. And I asked her, I said, why are you coming out forward after all these years? And she goes, well,
that doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. And she goes, well, I can't my side of the story. I said, nobody even knew who you were.
No.
In the documentary that I just watched, it said that the sister knew that was her brother. So I was just all like,
yeah.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. And I asked her, I said, why would you want to come out with this book now after all these years? And she never really gave us an answer, did she?
Mm-mm.
That's weird.
I think bottom line is it's money. She was
it's absolutely money.
Gacy, it's like you just said earlier, Gacy is one of the most covered serial killers in the nation when it comes to pop culture. Yep. Gacy.
And they say, the sister story. Oh, let's read it. Maybe
we can make money off her story.
Different.
Yeah.
Seriously, what is she going to? Is she going to say, I sit there and I watch my brother have sex with a teenager, strangle him,
and then bury him under the house?
Yeah, I bury him under my mom's house. No, she's not going to say that. That's implicating herself. Come on.
I don't think she'd really have much. She is Gacy's sister. That's confirmed, though, right?
Yes, it is.
But I don't think she'd have much to add to the story. Maybe like what she's dealt with people finding out she's related to John Wayne. I don't know.
And I gave a little heads up, like, comment, like, why are you so concerned? I think what has happened is something had been brought up in her life that somebody would find out that this is who she really is. Right. And that's why she figured, I'll clear the air kind of thing. Oh, yeah, like I did the little buddy. No. That's a good clear the air.
Wow.
Clear the air.
Clear the air.
We're going to just, yeah. Oh, sorry. So,
you guys also had a podcast a while back that you guys bring back.
Actually, we had a podcast with Bubba back in the day.
You had a podcast with Bubba?
Oh my God. How did you guys ever talk?
Let's see.
Be nice to Bubba.
I'm just kidding. I love Bubba.
That he was Southern Fry and I was
Fried Radio,
with, Springfield Rocks and everything like that. And that's and before that I was with QLZ and all those little radio stations like that back in the day. And
little radio stations.
Well, well, anyway, back to my story now. You're even sidetracked again. So I started doing like what we're doing right now. Back then, it was totally different than what it is right. Hello, Mr. Chris. It was totally different than what it is today. I mean, we played music and we really couldn't see like you guys on this other side.
Right.
And everything. It's kind of, advanced throughout the years.
It has advanced a lot, yeah.
Fucking technology.
I don't even think we called it podcasting. I think we called it
streaming.
Radio. Stream radio is what we called it.
It was the internet radio, right?
Or something like that. Internet radio.
Streaming.
Yeah, because I also
so now it's called podcasting.
Yeah, because I also had Rob from Weird Frequencies. He did that kind of stuff too. So, Bubba is in the chat. I mean, since he is a part of your story, Sage, I think we bring Bubba in.
All right, bring him in.
Hello, Bubba.
He was He was originally like bang. I'm not kidding. Bubba pisses me off sometimes, but I love him because 5 minutes after I posted the announcement of the interview, he's like, "Let me in on this interview! Let me in on this interview!" I'm like, "Holy shit, dude! Can I wait a minute?
And I was like, I'm the one that set this shit up.
Actually, Sage is the one. The rule is you set up the interview, you get to sit in. Bubba, it'll take you 5 minutes to get on your tablet and put a shirt on.
Come on, Bubba, hurry your ass up.
Put
a shirt on.
Well, how long does it take you to get set up? Jesus Christ, I wasn't even set up. And look how I figured this goddamn shit out. Come on.
Fucking need to put a shirt on. You can do it.
Yeah, see, I got a shirt on. I got my big girl britches on too.
The only thing she forgot to do was get a fucking glass of wine.
I know, right? That's what
he says. I just messaged him. He said not. He says no, not tonight. He must be dealing with something. I'm not sure.
Well, Mr. Bubba, you have so much love from us. Okay, there we go. I'm learning how to do this. Okay, there goes the bouncy little heart. Okay.
I say we do make fun of Bubba a little bit, but we also make fun of each other. But Bubba has helped out a lot. He's gotten us possible sponsor ideas and possible interviews with sponsors. So I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. I can't knock him for that. So, but I mean, sponsors.
There we go with that word again.
But I will say this.
Yes, I know I have a huge butt. And what about it?
Not that.
Oh, okay. Well, you kept saying butt. I thought it butt.
When we brought Casey Ray in from Notorious Escapades, I don't know if she corrupted him or not, but all of a sudden he's talking about pumpkin spice. And I'm like, what in the hell? You're a dude.
Earlier.
I tried pumpkin spice roast. I hate it. That's so disgusting. Would you take?
Dude,
you're talking about
pumpkin spice is okay one time a year.
You're talking about bringing the Twisted Metal Sisters podcast back.
Well, it's kind of like bringing us back together with music and also talking about murder. So, like, for instance, I'll talk about, what a sociopath is, what tour dates I have coming up, people I've met on my tour, because when I was in Wisconsin, Missouri, Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, Tennessee, that was my last tour last year. I met so many wonderful fans, and the stories, you two, it was unbelievable.
Hold on, man. What in the hell are you doing?
I'm getting kind of curious myself. I think he's trying to see if he's like the serial killer and put a picture of himself with the other page. And
No.
I'm telling you, I think that's his grandpa. I'm serious.
No. Yeah, I'm the only 10 I see.
I'm just joking with him.
What in the hell are you doing, Sage? Are you messaging Carla again?
It was selfie time.
So should we do selfies, I guess?
Doing.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I'm sorry. We got sidetracked there.
Yeah, that's right. Sidetracked.
Yeah, sidetracked. So
I forgot what we were. We were talking about the podcast.
We were talking about the podcast. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just not streaming. So podcast. I'm sorry. I'm not right. I told you that.
Not at all.
I have issues.
Right.
But yeah, we're trying to incorporate back and stuff. We just basically did it just to see if there's anybody out there who wanted to talk about some murder. Let's talk murder.
So your podcast, you're going to try and feature like what, local music or?
Oh no, well, yeah, we do. I still advertise for music, like Two Brothers and a Guy lawn service, and going to Joe's Place or DeCarlo's or going to Mangate. I still produce all those places on my shows, because that's what I'm big about doing, promoting the little guys, out there.
Right.
Just like when I do my tours, I do Barnes and Noble, I do Half Price Books, Books a Million, and I also do the mom and pop bookstores. Every show I do, I'll do a Barnes and Noble, and right after that, when I'm done with my 2 or 3 hours that I do there, I have to do a mom and pop, either before or after. It's very important for me to make sure they make money off of me.
Right.
Because I feel it's very important. So they keep their doors open. They keep people able to read and stuff. Barnes and Noble, they're franchised. Books Million franchised. They're going to be around for a long time. But these
let's hope so.
They are. They are. Now you see, you got me sidetracked. Back to the mom and pop ones. Those are the ones that, this economy has hurt them.
Yeah.
And when I go to do my shows at any of them, I always give them 1 or 2 of my books. And they're like, well, how much do I owe you? I'm like, well, how about what can you afford out of your cash register today? They're like, well, I can afford this. Here, you ain't got enough money in there to afford me. And they're like, we don't. I'm like, yeah, it's free. And I'm like,
and see, Verdon's got 2 bookstores on the square.
Yeah, you do. And a lot of the mom and pop stores, not just bookstores, but in general, just never got help after COVID. They were just, COVID hurt them so bad. And then, I'm not trying to get political here, I swear, but after Biden came in and just kind of didn't really help out a lot of mom and pop stores, they suffered greatly.
Well, we're not going to go political.
We're not. Yes, he did. He had a mess.
And we're still going to have a mess to clean up here in a while, because I'm finding that out now. You asked about the cost and stuff earlier in the show about somebody trying to produce this. If you would have done it probably 6 months ago, produced a book like what I did with Holly, you probably would have been okay. Now, when I do my book in November, it's going to be a different price.
Yeah, there's a lot. I know,
and I can't do overseas now. I can't send them. No, because it's going to cost me more money to send it over there, and I can't afford to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. Likewise, if let's say Canada wants to buy my book, they have it's going to cost more money for them. Or if I was up in Canada, vice versa, coming back here, it's going to cost more money. And I can't keep giving my books for free.
Yeah, you got to make some money off of it.
I have to make a little bit of profit so I can keep going with this.
Yeah, something that drives you to say, you know what, I'm going to do a 5th book, a 6th book, a 7th book.
Well, we talked about it when we get to Detective Martin's Journeys, which we've had a great turnout with Boy, and we just had Holly come out. What, a week and a half, and it's turning out to be. We've sold all of our books already.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we ordered. We've already sold out, and we're getting ready to order another set. But we're right back at that price. We have to pay a different price.
Right.
And it sucks. It really fucking sucks.
Children's book.
Oh yes. Let me finish up this real quick. It fucking sucks. But you asked me how do I unwind earlier. Okay, ready? Hold on to your assholes. Okay. This is how I unwind. Okay. I write children's books.
You write children?
Yeah.
I need a gummy.
Yep.
I need a gummy.
Hang on a second. All right. We can do a gummy with you.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Little Timmy decided today that he was going to fucking murder Ashley on the playground.
Okay. Are you ready?
Okay.
My book is called Fairies of the Four Realms.
Fairies of the Four Realms.
Yeah,
okay.
My husband says it's Harry Potter meets Lord of the Rings, and they gave birth to my book. It has sorcery in it. It has witchcraft sorcery. It has beautiful little characters that fairies, obviously, because it's called Fairies of the Four Realms. one of my characters is King Richard. He is king of the hallucinogens. He is king of the mushrooms.
This is
He
Wait a
talks
minute.
about unicorns. He talks about kind of like fuzzy bears and stuff. And you're probably, yes, you're laughing. You're like, okay, this is a kid's book? Yes, because my grandchildren and nieces came up with this ideal. They were playing and everything, and I was just watching them. I was like, so what's the significance of this tree? Well, you go into another dimension. I said, well, where's the dimension take you? Well, into a fairy world. And I said, well, what's the fairy world consist of? And they said, well, they got this guy that if you eat these mushrooms, it makes you goofy. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And then if you have this other one, it's a little dwarf guy and he has big giant feet. And I'm like, okay. And then you have like these squirrels and what was it? Meadow the squirrel.
Meadow the squirrel.
Yeah, Meadow the squirrel and Moon Dancer the wolf. And when they come back to our world, they're an actual wolf and they're an actual squirrel. And then when the other, I want to be in this realm. You can be in my realm.
He wants to be in the realm because you said there's a king of the shrooms.
Yes.
And
yeah, my kid, when the kids was explaining to him, I was like, do they actually understand what they're talking about? But they watching these cartoons that they watch on YouTube and all this other stuff. And I was like, holy shit, I need to start watching these fucking things. And I started watching them. And these cartoons are not cartoons, by the way. I don't know what the fuck you call them. And these kids are learning about shrooms. Tripping. And I'm like, holy fuck.
okay, so hang on a minute.
No, I'm not hanging on.
No,
That's
no,
the problem.
no,
I was
no,
having a problem with it. So I was like, well, and I scratched my head like, and they've got over 1 million views. And I'm like, where's the fucking parents on this? Aren't the parents like watching what these kids are watching? So my kid, our groups, they're mad at us because I won't let them watch this shit anymore. I'm like, ah. And what was the other one that what's her name was watching? Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a show called Big Mouth?
No.
What is it on? Is it on Netflix?
It's on YouTube.
Okay, well,
it's on Hulu, I think.
Hulu. It's one of those. I bet it's. Huh?
And he's saying it's one of those Japanese anime cartoons.
Well, I don't know if it is or not, but they talk about anal sex.
What?
And I had a problem with that. Okay, when you have a 7-year-old going, isn't that where you're supposed to poop?
Oh, okay. What? Hold on. What's the name of this goddamn show?
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth.
The Big Mouth.
Yeah. I was like, why are you watching that? They're like, well, the older sister was watching, so they watched it. And I'm like, no, you don't watch it. Okay, it's bad enough that you watch The Simpsons and Family Guy. Come on. Oh my god. And then so anyway, back to my children's.
Is this it?
Yes. That's it.
But you have to watch it from the very beginning because it starts out whenever they're little kids and then they grow and go through puberty and everything.
Is that Val Kilmer on that?
That is not Val Kilmer,
I can't
but it
see.
says Nick Kroll, John Mulaney, Jason Mont. This is not a kid's show. Jesse, look at
Thank
this.
you. See?
No.
Big Mouth is an American adult animated coming of age sitcom. It is not for kids. So
thank you. And I couldn't get over this. I was watching all this stupid shit on this here YouTube, and people were like, there was 1 million hits, and they're like, oh, my kids just love this show. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is your kids watching this shit? I mean, I was scrolling. I had to stop scrolling. I did. So anyway, back to I love the glasses, dude. I wish I had a pair.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, see, I can look. Oh, here we go. I got you. Oops. Hey, where'd he go? Where'd the other dude go?
He went to go do something.
sorry, I had my fiance was asking me something. So okay,
go ahead.
I got a lot of fucking questions right now.
Oh well, I don't have any answers. I'm sorry.
You're writing.
I fly by the seat of my pants kind of thing with that whenever I have things in my head. So
You're writing a children's book.
Mhm.
And you're also writing books about serial killers.
yeah. Yeah.
You are one multi-talented motherfucker.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Okay.
But
I didn't expect that out of you. I figured you'd say I was demented or deranged.
Well, that too.
No,
What was
this
it?
is epic.
I think I got lost where she said king of the shrooms. What the hell's are they like mushrooms or?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
mushrooms.
Just the thing. That's just the thing. He's just king of
Fucking rookie.
mushrooms, and you know, you could take it like morel mushrooms. You could take them as elephant ear mushrooms, you know, or you can take them as psychedelic mushrooms. You know, it's fairy world.
I think somebody here wants to take it as psychedelic mushrooms.
I want to be king of the Okay. Well, the book will be out. Well, the book was supposed to be out on the 12th of this month, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I gotta, I don't know, tweak some things that I didn't care for, and I'm still.
Yeah, that's 420. That's his real Facebook page, Skeletor.
Okay.
420 used to be a member of our cast member on our show. He's on
Okay.
the show now, so
Hello.
So, okay.
Go ahead.
We just got completely sidetracked. I'm sorry.
But
I
to
told
know
you,
that you're
I
also
don't know if she
writing
told you or
children's
not, but I'm a
books.
3-ring circus.
So you're writing children's books.
See, I've always thought about writing and illustrating my own children's books too. Because I draw like a motherfucker, but
That's awesome.
I don't think that I could. I didn't. The whole mushroom thing and the trippy thing. I just damn. I never thought about that going into different realms and shit.
King Richard.
Is it different realms? That sounds kind of like, what is it? Yeah, that's it. Is this Norse? Like based on Norse? Because what the Norse Vikings, all that shit with like Odin and all that.
Yep.
They believed in multiple realms.
Like I said,
yeah,
these kids were out there playing, and
Norse god right here,
and they were coming up with their own characters. And Onyx is one of the new characters that we're going to be bringing into the next book. They're very short stories. They're about not even 100 pages. Very short stories. You know, it was just for me to unwind my mind a little bit. Okay, you read that. I'm going to talk.
Go ahead.
Basically, just
have you thought about doing the funny adult kids book like Shelly, Smelly Beaver, Mom? The ones that I repost on Facebook that are like not good.
Okay,
they're hilarious.
Probably no, I will never do anything like that, to be honest with you, because I do talk in my serial killings of horrible, horrible sexual things.
Yes.
And my way of getting my brain off of that subject and away from, tragic of killing kids, and because I will never kill a kid in my books, but the serial killers actually do that. So I do write about it, but she can explain to you, I'm not as graphic, but my books are graphic about what I put in them, about the children's killings.
Graphic enough.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. That's all it's in my book enough. I've looked at the photographs. I've read the reports, and I'm giving it basically an R when it's rated X, triple X. And it's very hard to get those images out of your head. And like I said, when the kids was playing, it was exciting to just turn it off. Just to turn it off. Yeah, it means like, yeah.
Wonderland.
Yeah, kind of turn it off. And like I said, the kids came up with these wonderful, wonderful little characters and fairies that, they have like little keys that they unlock leaves, and the leaves go into different portals. And those little portholes, is a bunch of, happiness or sadness. It's all about emotions and stuff for kids to kind of relate and things.
So after you're done writing a book about a serial killer, you decompress and you relax and you get back to normal with a kid's book. Actually, it works. It works. I mean,
actually, no. I was writing the kids' book when I was writing Holly at the same time. So
okay.
The way I actually how do I put this? How do I calm down, I guess is the word.
You call me and tell me about it all.
Yeah, I call my publicist over here, my sister. I say, okay, listen, I really got all these murders going on in my head. I need some way to get them out of my head. and it is hard. So Sage, if I be calling you, you're gonna be like, why are you calling me? Well, I've got this here, person is, this fork is stuck in their head and then it's coming out, through their eye socket, but I don't know if I want to jab it back through, and you'll be like, what the fuck? Well, okay, then how about this one? I have this other part of my book where I take a poker and I get
that's us.
Oh yeah, there we are.
All right, I just noticed this. So
hi. Did you get a copy of that picture? I don't have a copy of that picture. I want a copy of that picture.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Well, back to what I said. I take this poker and I shove it up one of my victims' asshole because it's really hot, and it comes out. And I play with the penis and I put it through the penis, and as it comes through the penis, this guy's hard and everything. You know what happens to a guy's dick when it goes from this, it goes like this. Well, and then, you just go around the rod, and that's all I'm going to give you on that one. Is that in the Holly book or is that in the Carol book?
The one that you put through the head and comes out the eye, I would tell you to stomp on that motherfucker and pull it the rest of the way through. That's what
I was thinking about, making the person possibly, when I pop it through the eye socket, just to, I don't know, have it dangle there. Maybe make the person eat it.
Oh,
God. I think that would probably be the satisfaction.
Dangle there, pull the eyeball off, shove it in their mouth.
Skeletor works on an oil rig down in New Orleans, and he's detoxing apparently. So I am actually surprised we are still on. The one with the penis.
Well, that one it's already been written and it's already finished. I just gave you a little taste. That's in my third book. There's a lot more to it.
You could definitely call me at 3 a.m. with this kind of shit.
Well, that's kind of what goes on in my head sometimes.
What you got at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.?
Yeah. Because like I said, when I was on the cancer medication.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Corey.
What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean?
We're talking about the whole, the penis killing, stabbing and shit. I'm like, what?
Oh. Yeah. Well, my victim, whenever, you would think it would kill the person and, sticking it up their ass and everything. Technically, the person wouldn't be dead yet. They'll convulse a little bit and they'll jerk a little bit. I haven't decided if I'm going to make him come or not. I haven't got that far in that book, but anyway.
Oh, for the love of God.
Yeah, well, those little things, people want to read because I'm very graphic about that. And that's why one of my proofreaders, she goes, I'm very graphic about some of it, especially when I'm strangling somebody. Or what was the one that
and not only that, but if you're going through the anus, you're going to hit that fucking special spot in the booty. You could make them come whenever you're fucking hitting that. So
it's just those kind of things that I kind of think about, and then with that particular gentleman, he's one of the ones that was the rapist that we found. And I haven't figured out what I was going to do with his kneecaps. I think I was going to cut his kneecaps off and I was going to feed him to the dog, but I haven't decided, because that kneecaps has those little balls and stuff. And I was thinking about, putting him where his balls would have been and, doing something with the testicles, but those have been done, feeding him to the person. But I wanted to do something really graphic with the man's testicles. I got to figure out what to do with them yet.
I can drink, breathe.
Fucking pull his eyeballs out and replace them with his testicles.
I think we should change the subject from the 5 faces of death that obviously you guys have watched.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I get really graphic sometimes, like I said, and this is kind of what I talk about on my program.
Dude, I love this. This is fucking great.
You know what? I think
that go ahead.
I think you should take Bubba and Sage and bring them on your show. It's called the Twisted Metal Crew. Yeah, Skeletor.
I like that. Shrimps, please. Okay.
I think we have actually traumatized the one man. I want to bring it to. Jesus,
go back to Shrimps. Laugh out loud. Okay, well.
Hang on.
How about this?
No,
Skeletor?
Hang on a minute. Skeletor is responsible for some of the craziest, sickest shit that he's ever said and done in the show.
Yes.
Let it be known, it's been 2 years. We finally found something he does not like
to break Skeletor.
And we broke him. So, Nina, you broke a man.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break you.
No, this is great.
It's great. He deserves it.
You don't know some of the shit this man has come on and said in the show. And
Well,
he's got
go ahead.
2 girls pregnant at the same goddamn time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's bisexual. He's shoved many of things up his ass and told us about it. He's fucking got his dick broke once. And
Okay, I could get that. Okay.
And I just want to point out real quick, you are not a fucking angel, Skeletor. Jerome, you shut your mouth.
Dude, you're the reason that we know of Burling.
Burling. What was the other one where she was talking about? Oh, yeah, he even mentions up here, sounds like sounding. We learned what that was.
Yeah, we figured out what sounding rods are. Because of this
Skeletor, man. Yeah. So you breaking him, you know what? I applaud that.
He's got a friend on the oil rig named Dutchman, and he took this motherfucker's wooden peg leg and threw it overboard into the ocean.
Okay.
And they had to go fishing for that goddamn peg leg.
Yeah. And it was floating on top of the water or something like that. I can't remember.
He's done a panty raid on the fucking oil rig. He stole the flares from the helicopter. He's done all sorts of shit. So he's no innocent. He's no innocent motherfucker whatsoever.
No. The things he has done, that's just like that. It's just a short list. The things nobody had it coming.
He had it coming.
So,
he had it coming.
Nobody had that coming. So
Skeletor?
Dude, you took a shit on his bed.
In one of my books. Just
wait,
to let
what'd you say, Nita?
Oh, nothing. I was being nice.
I'll go back.
Well, hey, his real name is Jerome Belladante.
Oh, Belladante. I like that.
It sounds almost like the figure, doesn't it?
He might be.
And now we have a phrase on the show. We have a phrase on the show now that says, "You just got Belladante."
Oh, goodness gracious.
You are not a saint. Shut up.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, God.
So,
Well,
yeah, if you need something for your show or your books, definitely use the word Belladante.
We'll do on that one. I like the word Skeletor, though.
I'm glad that makes it into one of her books.
Well,
Put He-Man and She-Ra with him?
I could.
Oh, good Lord.
I think we've actually had a He-Man. We've had a few members of his that's copyrighted. It's not copyrighted.
It's copyrighted. Oh, we can come up with different kind of names.
We've had
yeah, you can call him Skelly. We've done that before.
Yeah,
we can call it O-Face.
Skelly and She-Man.
No, the O-Face would be the white face. He's got the
Skelly. Oh,
yeah. Oh my God, where was I at? Oh yeah, that was at our dinner, and I was making that O-face because of that damn vinegar, and you thought it was funny. Oh, you guys missed out this dinner. We went to the Comic-Con, and like I told you, I murdered everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna murder you guys this evening. Now, our next visit that I come with you, I'm gonna murder you guys, and I'll tell you how I'm gonna do it. But see, he's got all the tools and stuff, so that'd be nice little props. And he likes Pabst Blue Ribbon, so yeah, I'll probably use something like that.
She's already got it in her head.
Yeah,
I'm down.
I'm still thinking he's my serial killer for my second book, though.
Why do I get the feeling that they say they're pointing at you, but it's actually me?
This is you.
Okay, that's me.
This is him. Is it?
All
and
right.
this is now. Let's see. There you go. Boop. Choop. There you go. That was
Good luck trying to serial killer a serial killer.
That kind of looked really, really vulgar.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, if I just put a winky in there, and then you'll think it was a guy. But now I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's going on we've been on the air for about an hour.
Oh shit, we had
like 2 hours. Shit.
2 hours. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we were only on here for 8 minutes. Oh goddamn, we did it.
It ain't been no 8 minutes.
Oh, you're on Nina time, honey. Yeah.
Dude, this has been the most interesting 8 minutes
It
of my life.
has. It has. You know, it's weird too because we've had some doozies. Jonathan Dark, he came on the podcast a while back. He's also pretty good. We've had some doozies of ones lately.
That ain't no shit. Very entertaining.
This
And
evening. Okay, Shelly, you need to.
Yeah, Skeletor does not apparently have a Facebook. I've actually tried looking for him. There. Oh, I don't even want to talk about. Okay, hang on a minute. You're a saint. He says he's a saint.
Saint. Okay.
I've never forgiven him for what he said in the email.
the Dr. Sage emails.
Oh my God! So we had another Tyler on the show.
Oh,
Tyler Cooley. He's currently taking some time off to get some stuff taken care of. By the way, Cool, if you're seeing this, hey, what's up, brother? Yes, Sage already knows where it's going. One night, I guess Skelly got drunk or stoned.
Okay,
Skelly had a crush.
For reference, he had a crush on the other Tyler.
Yeah.
Thought he was super cute and all this shit. So,
Yeah.
Take it from there.
He said a dick.
He says,
It was. He said
it
a
was
fucking
meant
dick
for
pic.
Cooley.
He said a fucking dick pic, and he asked Dr. Sage email once, and I had to open it and see it.
And for the record, you got to understand, Skeletor is a. I'm going to say this without sounding racist. He's a black man
okay.
from
Was he circumcised
Louisiana.
or uncircumcised?
Oh God!
The fuck you! I know. All I said. I know. Just happened to stare at his.
I don't know, but Tyler had to see his dick, so ask Tyler. and not only that, but he had to see it twice.
What was it? Was it
Because
thick or was it long or was it curved or was it,
The dick was quite big. That's for goddamn sure.
Okay.
And Tyler did not like it, Bubba. Shut up.
Randy,
Are your books on Kindle?
And now
No,
I
not,
kind of want to send Tyler
not right now.
a pic of my dick.
Don't you send me a picture of your dick?
We will probably to answer that woman's question. I think that was a woman.
That's my fiance. Yes.
Oh, you're okay. Answer the question about the Kindle. I'm going to be doing a negotiational kind of deal with Kindle themselves and Amazon themselves to put it out there, but we are producing it at a cheaper price at our rates, so we're not getting fucked over by them.
Okay.
Because they take a percentage as well. When you do anything with Amazon Prime, Kindle, eNook, what's another one? There's all kinds of those and stuff. They take a little percentage. So, again, do your homework. We learned the hard way kind of thing, and that's the best way to learn. So, yes, when it comes out, I will make sure you all know. So you can announce it if you wouldn't mind. Oh.
Y'all, I'm gonna quit this show if I end up getting Sage and Bubba.
No. This is what I do with men that try to send me dick pics or women that send me their pussies. I find the most grotesque ones and I put them out there for everybody to see, and I put their names on top of it and say, now this is how you can get a hold of this grotesque person, And then I usually, what was it? I was doing those little feather things with it, so, give it just a little bit of a, compliment. Try to sometimes. Yeah, I'm not right. I told you.
You're in the right
mine's
audience.
not grotesque at all.
Well, you haven't seen what some of these dicks
fantastic.
are. I mean, there's this one that was curved like this. There was this one. I thought it was a wreck, but I thought it was a snail, to be honest with you, because that's what I thought it was, a snail in like a garden. And I enhanced it and enhanced it and enhanced it. I was like, what the fuck is that? And of course, the kids have to walk in. Grandma, are you looking at snails? I'm like, yes, I'm looking at a snail. And then I was like, oh, what the fuck? Who sends you a dick like that? You want to see like a big one.
Holy Jesus.
Not like a little bitty, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Sorry, how do we get stuck on this dick talk?
I don't know, a little warm on a hook.
Okay, a little warm on a hook. Yes.
I think we're going to just end it.
Oh my God. It's a little worm on the hook. There we go. A little worm on the hook. Hello.
So, Nina, what is your next book dropping?
What's my next book dropping? I'm gonna let my couple talk to you on this one.
Probably
Brandy,
sooner than it needs to.
Sooner than it needs to. All right. And then when is your?
It's supposed to be in November, but she'll probably put it out sooner, I'm sure.
All right. And when do you guys relaunch the Twisted Metal Sisters podcast again?
It's on Fridays at 8:00. Every Friday I try to do, unless the weather doesn't permit, because if there's shitty weather out, we get really crappy internet service. And, I am eventually going to be doing what you're doing on this here little, back on this scene here with the StreamYard and all that. I'm eventually, but right now I do it on Facebook. I'm having fun with that. I'm trying to figure that out and maneuver it, I am old, for Christ's fucking sake,
I can tell you, with the Facebook thing, it's a little difficult because Facebook is like deleting it. You want to do Facebook and YouTube. So that way YouTube has like all your stuff archived and all that.
Yes. I tried to archive and go back into where our old shows were, and you can't get them anymore. I don't know what the deal is. I've tried. I've even contacted several different entities, and
they took all the old videos and stuff away.
Yeah. And it really fucking sucked because we had some really cool people that I interviewed throughout, the years and stuff. I'd like to,
but they might be on YouTube.
I've tried looking for them. That's what I'm trying to explain to her, and I couldn't find them. I've tried several different ways to find me, but
thought I seen this.
Let's see. Let me look real quick before we get off here.
Maybe you'll find me. I'll be like, hey, you found me. But yeah, we used to do interviews with people. With not local bands, with national bands and stuff like that.
Right.
And I really like doing stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I love to do my local bands and stuff, but I would do that when I'd go to like a bar or a club or something, or see somebody performing. I'd go live with them and stuff and do a little small interview with them. Just to give them, like recognition, hey, this band is playing, blah, blah, blah. But I really like to find bands that play original music.
Right.
To give them a chance to get exploited.
Well, I got a musician friend. He did our intro. He's getting ready to come on here in a few weeks. If you want to have him on at some point, he's really good at what he does. So, but yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll talk after the show about how we can produce your show on our show and just, go from there. So, hey, if you guys are looking for a platform, we're always looking to expand our audience, expand who we are,
I will say this, since I started doing the Facebook, I'm learning, we hit 10,000 viewers.
Hey, Esme, you hit 10,000 viewers on Facebook?
Already.
Nice.
And I was like, how? And we've only been on the air for 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I told her, I says, am I that stupid or something? I don't know what the hell. No, I'm not stupid, but I just do some, like I said, zany things.
A little bit.
Well, yeah, okay.
She is a blonde.
Like I said, I got my foot stuck in a toilet twice, so we'll talk about that one day too. Are you looking at me? What?
No, I was trying to look for your Facebook page, and then when I heard that, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see us anymore. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, we were on there.
Oh.
Yeah, with the whole the viewing thing, I'm starting to learn how to do. Like, you have your little. Oh yeah, that's our Facebook page. Yeah,
that was our
that was God. That was years ago.
We can't even get into that anymore.
Oh yeah, the beautiful thing about Facebook, they locked me out of this page, and I had to send my ID in and everything. I sent it into them. They're like, "Oh, that's still not you." I'm like, "Motherfuckers, it's my face on there." So yeah, that's a group of that's the Twisted Metal Sister girls in Maryland.
So that's you guys.
Yeah, that's me with a bunch of the girls from Maryland, the state of Maryland. There's a bunch of us. The one that's here in the where it says, okay, there's me and Brandy. That's one of our Twisted Metal Sisters from Chicago.
Right.
Let's see. The one that's on the giving the devil horns, I think she's from New York. The other girls are from Maryland. And of course, you see me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's that's your current page you guys have?
No, that's an old page. God, that one, God, we were 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Oh, longer.
Really?
7 or 8 years, I think.
No, it'd be almost a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, about about a decade. We have not been able to get in there, but I can still get my messages from there.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, because it's linked into my other Facebook account. And it's the only thing I could figure. Because we used to have a clothing line and everything, Twisted Metal Sister clothing line and everything. Yeah, because we sold Gothic wear.
Wow.
So, and like I said, we did a lot of promotionals for bands and stuff, local bands, regional bands, national bands, restaurants, podcast people. Well, back then it wasn't called podcast; it was called
broadcasting
radio.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. God, who was? I'm trying to think of who was it. I actually went blank. Oh my God, that's
for once.
I know, for once. But there was somebody who used to do their radio show, and I can't think of who it was besides with Chris Rode.
Chicken.
No, it was with Chris.
Yeah.
So, see what I mean? Everyone's kind of like
from Gerard.
No, that was them too. That was Southern Fried. Yeah,
Southern Fried. Okay.
It'll come to me after the show's over, and then I'll be like, "Oh, that's who that was."
Oh well.
That's special.
Well, we definitely got to have you guys back on for sure.
Oh my God, you are right. I just noticed this up here in that little corner by your little face over here. There's a counter. Did you know there was a clock up there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I thought that was the time. I was like, well, Jesus, we haven't been on here very long. Oh my God. So we're doing really good time. I didn't realize. We've been on here for a minute.
Yeah, we've been on here almost 2 hours.
I literally want to ask how she get her foot stuck in the toilet, but I want to save that one for next
Okay,
time.
I'll tell you.
Oh boy.
Okay, all right, go ahead and tell me. I got to hear this.
The first time I got my foot stuck, I was doing acid, okay? And I wanted something on the shelf, and somehow or another my foot went down. It was one of those older toilets, and it kind of got stuck there. And I don't know, one of the magical little people that I was doing acid with helped me get my foot out. And next morning, of course, my foot was like, bruised and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And it was okay. Okay, that was fine. And it looked kind of shitty, but it wasn't, because of shit. It was because it got stuck. So that one I couldn't really tell you other than the fact I was doing acid. Now, the second time it happened, this one's kind of embarrassing in a way. I was in my apartment, and it was a condo, and I was wanting to put this here pretty thing above my toilet. So I thought, I'd just stand on the rim. And I said, oh, wait a minute. You did that the last time on the toilet seat, and you went down the thing. So stand on the rim so it's a little bit more sturdier so your feet will be, planted better.
Right.
I went back, and I put the nail in. Perfect the first time. Well, then I had to switch over and do it the left-handed way. And I got confused switching the hammer from the right hand to the left hand. And I was sober at the time. So I went back. When I did, I slipped and fell, and my foot went right down in the gooseneck of it. And it was lodged. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I did it again. But this time I'm by myself. So I'm like, how am I going to undo this? So I heard my neighbor home. She was home. So our bathrooms were like, connected. So I'm banging back and forth. So she's banging back and forth. And we did this for like a half hour. And I was like, oh my God, Emily, help. And she's like, oh, you need me. I'm like, yeah, I have to pee. So she comes over. She goes, well, why don't you just scoot over to the tub? I said, I've already tried to put my butt in the tub, but I can't get it in there. It's stuck in the toilet. And it hurts. Help me. She goes, okay, I'll call 911. They'll know what to do. I said, great. Finally, but I really have to pee. So she calls 911. She goes, my neighbor's got her foot stuck in the toilet. We need to extract it. How do we do it? And they're like, ma'am, this is for emergencies only. And she goes, is this an emergency? She's got to go pee. Click. So she comes back. She goes, they're not taking me serious. I said, tell them it hurts. It's excruciating pain. So she calls again. 911, how can I help you? And she goes, my neighbor has her foot stuck, lodged in the toilet, and she really needs help. And she's in pain. She's got to go pee really bad. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 yet. Let me ask her. So she goes, you got to do 1 or 2. I said, it's 1. Ma'am, this is for emergencies only. Please disconnect. Click. So I'm like, what the fuck? I got to go bathroom. My foot's starting to hurt, right? So she calls it a 3rd time, and I guess by law, they have to come out and, investigate. So 911 sends out the police, ambulance, and the fire people. Fire people get there first, right? He walks in, he goes, what the fuck? He walks out, I can hear him giggling down the hallway. Hey, I still got to pee. So then comes in the police officer, and he goes, you're not going to believe it, man. Go in there. And he walks in there, and he takes one look, he goes, Okay. And he walks out, and I'm like, no, come back here. Emily's like, I think they're talking about you. I'm like, well, tell them I gotta pee. Maybe they'll hurry. What do you mean? Drugs for a bad month? What? I don't know. I wasn't on drugs this time. I was sober. That's the problem. I was sober. So then
She blonde. You can tell, yeah.
So then the guy comes in, and the guy with the hat that has the diamond.
Fireman?
Yeah, the fireman dude comes in. He says, okay, are you really liking this toilet? I'm like, I got another toilet on the other side. That's fine. Do what you got to do. So they break the toilet. Shut off the water, the whole 9 yards. And then my foot, comes out, and it's all swollen. And I said, he goes, did you shit in the toilet? I'm like, no, my foot is just black and blue because it's been in there for so long. I said, and I didn't even wait for them to leave. I think I pissed right in front of them. I don't remember. I had to pee so
for the love of God.
And then I walk out. I'm not walking out. I'm hobbling out. And the ambulance guy goes, okay, do you need medical attention? I'm like, oh, we need something. And so they finally get me to the hospital. They look at my foot. I did break my foot. And the nurse, she goes, all you had to do was just flush it and your foot it popped right out. I'm like, you're probably right. So Emily and I was going to try that theory out when I got home.
No, stay away from toilets.
But we looked at one another, and she goes, wait a minute, you probably shouldn't, because what if we forget to grab the phone? I said, oh, shit, let's not do this. So we didn't try it. So the nurse was probably right. Now, I really want to try this.
No, not tonight.
I have issues.
I'm lost. I think we're Skeletor's like,
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah. I've been stuck in porta potties.
I was trying so hard not to laugh at this.
It's okay.
She got stuck in the bathroom at the bar the other night.
Yeah, the night that you were there, Sage, I got stuck in the bathroom. Yeah.
You're muted, Sage.
Oh.
He's muted.
You can't hear me. Turn on your sound.
He's still muted. I don't know what's going on. What happened to your microphone?
I can't hear you. I can't hear what's coming out of your mouth. He's
got some technical issues going on, I guess.
Am I going there? See, I'm picking his nose.
I think we'll just
From my end, that's what it looked like. I was picking his nose.
We'll just, yeah, still nothing, dude.
I hope you guys have had a fun evening with me tonight. I hope
the audience has too. I think we'll just end it there. So we are going on a 2-hour mark. Definitely need to have you ladies back on before your next book drops. So if you want to get, I'm sorry.
Hello.
Or we can just come on for comedy hour.
Our comedy hours usually run Wednesday and Fridays. But anyways, if you want to get your own copy of Nina's book, go to that Facebook page, message her publicist Brandy, and she will get you a copy today. It'll soon hopefully be available on Kindle and various other digital platforms as well. So
you can still get me at Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.
Just won't sign it.
I just won't sign those books. Now, if you buy it from her, I will sign them, and I will also take photos with you if you would like.
Yeah, I don't know what Sage did. His microphone that's weird.
It's my fault. Okay, I have this, I have this ability.
Electrical.
She probably do something for a fire sale. I do need a break from the goddamn fire sales. Maybe she would. I don't know. Fire sales are something we do. It's a night where we do something for a certain donation. It all goes to St. Jude.
Okay, gotcha.
We just had Esme in here saying Tyler's face is naked. That's because last Friday we waxed my beard off. It's gone and it sucked. So
did you do that live?
Yes.
That was fascinating.
It was not fascinating. It hurt.
Well, I didn't feel it. That's why I said I found it fascinating.
Okay, smart ass. All right. Well, Sage's got some technical issues, so I guess I'll just, on behalf of Sage Ramsey, join us tomorrow for another edition of the Best Damn Podcast. We'll have our second guest of the week, the man who literally designed the Wrestling for a Cure Season 9 shirts. We're going to have Larry Bernstein on live tomorrow. That's our second interview. Next week we'll have more interviews. Ladies, definitely gotta have you guys back on for sure. Yeah, nothing. I can't hear you, brother. I'm not kidding.
We can't hear you. You can hear us, but we
Try-
can't hear you.
Try leaving the show, then coming back.
I think he did.
No, he hasn't yet. So
I saw the little moon thingy.
start your podcast back so you can get on the best Springfield podcast. Yeah, that's gonna be coming up here soon. So, well, guys, it's been awesome. Nina, Brandy, thank you very much. We will see you guys.
Now,
No,
how do I
nothing,
get out
man.
of here? Do I have to do anything, or can I just?
Hang on, man. I'll just end the stream real quick. We'll see you all in the next episode of the Best Damn Podcast. Try not to get your foot stuck in toilets. So long, everybody.